I was coming up on 50. Now I'm coming up on 60 and I'm happy.
So, well, we blew out alcoholism. And those are my favorite scenes, by the way. I loved them.
Women tend to be better regulators than men because we have a much greater emotional language.
Gaps of knowledge exist within the medical system.
The women that I would hear from because of the domestic violence episodes, that they said it gave them strength to leave an abusive partner. And so it's like ever since then, like I've turned down things that I thought were disrespectful to women.
Menopause, as many of your listeners know, is not just hot flashes and night sweats. It is brain fog, irritability. It's burning mouth syndrome. It's itchy ears. It's urinary frequency and urgency. It's osteoporosis. And if you break a hip, you die, right? It is urinary tract infections, which is killing millions of people of all ages, right? And that's all can be due to menopause.
There's a lot of women out there educating men about things like an IUD. Like, what exactly is an IUD and how exactly does it go into your body? And what exactly are they doing to you? And what do you get for that? And you're like, yeah, you get an ice pack and a Tylenol, and they tell you go home. We just put a fish hook in you.
Too many times, especially with older generations, they assume that, anyone who's in a position of authority, they know everything, so they're not going to question. No, that is gone. There's been too many cases of people being misdiagnosed, women being dismissed, and it truly affects the rest of their life, if not also, may affect them living or dying.
Yeah, we know from the research that as our emotion goes up, our intelligence literally goes down. So if somebody gave you an IQ test when you were really angry, you would score worse than if you took it when you were calm. So like the last thing you want to do is have this debate about something important when your IQ is lower than it should be.
There's actually no right age to be a woman in the workforce. I called it the Goldilocks because, Goldilocks, too hot, too cold. Oh, we finally get to just right. But for women, we are too young, too old, and we are never just right.
There's so much talk about care and the lack of knowledge when as it surrounds menopause. And if we broke up with enough doctors because they don't know what they are doing, then we will change the trajectory of doctors actually going into a field that can help us. For those of us at this age, because we're going to change it for the next generation of young women and talk more about menopause and talk about it openly. I try to say menopause every chance I get. If I'm on TV and I can't remember something, I said, pause for the minute.
A nephew of mine, when he was in first grade, they invited me to a day where, your dad comes in as a policeman or a fireman, and they wanted me to come in, and I went in and I explained what my job was, that, every night I get all this research, just like you guys get homework. Mm-hmm. And yes. I read all my research and I get ready. And the next day when I go in, I have to interview a person. So I have to know all the questions and kind of what they're going to answer, just kind of like you guys take a test the next day. To which one little boy, and I said, so it's very much kind of like what you guys do. And then the little boy said, then what did you take the job for?
So the biggest takeaway that I try to tell my patients who've had hormone positive breast cancer is, do not let anyone tell you that just because you have breast cancer and your treatment may have thrown you into menopause, you had surgical menopause or chemotherapy put you into menopause, don't let anyone tell you that you just have to suffer.
Women who are on HRT, women who have been diagnosed with menopause who are using other therapies, and the women who were on hormone replacement therapy had a 14% decrease in their behavioral health costs to the healthcare system.
What are the top 7 foods that create the most inflammation with people? The most: gluten, dairy, soy, corn, sugar, eggs, and peanuts.
On my 50th birthday, my friends did a little intervention on me and said, if you could just receive for the next 50 years the amount that you've given the first 50, it would be lovely. We would like that for you.